सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव
प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि।
एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि।
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव।
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय
इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय
क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते।
क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते।
एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः
एतद्यो वेति तं प्राहुः
क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः।
क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः।
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि
सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत।
सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत।
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानम्
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानम्
यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम।
यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम।
तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् च
तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च चादृक् च
यद्कार्यतश्च यत्
यद्विकारि यतश्च यत्
स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च
स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च
तत्समासेन मे शृणु।
तत्समासेन मे शृणु।
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम्
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम्
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः
हेतुमद्भिर्निश्चितैः
महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः
महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः
बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च
बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च
इन्द्रियाणि दशैकञ्च
इन्द्रियाणि दशैकञ्च
पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः
पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः
इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखम्
इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखम्
सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः
सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः
एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन
एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन
सविकारमुदाहृतम्.
सविकारमुदाहृतम्।
So we studied till number 4 in the last class, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna was saying that this thing that I'm going to talk about, what is this thing? Kshetram, Kshetrajnam. In fact, you are the one who asked me these questions. I'm going to talk about that. But guess what? Rishibhihi Bahuda Gita. Already it was told. Even I can't patent all these things. Okay. Today we have this buddhi called patenting buddhi. Immediately make something up and then patent it and make some money and get out. Okay, that's the idea. Krishna says, I am Bhagavan Ishvara, even I can't patent all this. Yes, Rishibhihi Bahuda Gita. Sandipani, Krishna studied in Sandipani, so he knows that. So he knows. Even I had a guru who knew what I'm going to talk about. Okay. So, Chando Vir Vividai Pratak, Brahma Sutra, Veda Vyasa came and went. Hey, Arjuna, long ago. Even he's saying long ago. Hey, Tumadbir, etc. We saw that last time, right? So, all this patenting business, we have to get out of this mindset first and foremost. Mindset that let me get something out of it, and then let me start an ashram. And you can start an ashram. Also, many Swamis start. Nothing wrong with it. But let me make some money out of it. This money making mindset, as long as it is there, there is no connection between Atma Vidya and that kind of a lifestyle. Money is needed for lifestyle. We can't go on the streets, but then let me profit from this. This idea should go. Let me give is the idea. That's the idea that should drive us into this particular Vidya. Okay. Anyway, having said that, number 5 and 6 go together. He is now describing Kshetra. Having briefly said in the first shloka, Idam Shariram Kaunteya, right? I think we agreed to leave that as number 1, right? And 0 would be Arjuna's question. So we'll stick with that, okay? And so, having said that, Idam Shariram Kaunteya, said that hint he had given. It's not a definition of Kshetram. It's a hint that, hey, this is where confusion starts. But here, from 5 and 6, he's going to enumerate. He's going to enumerate what Kshetram is. Yeah. Kshetram means what? We saw the meaning last time. Kshetram is whatever you perceive, whatever this world, when somebody says world, universe, that is Kshetram. That is Kshetram. And every civilization, every culture, every society, whatever way you want to look at it, the thinkers there will always wonder about this world. And there's always few people who will analyze the world. Okay. Trees are growing. How come trees are able to produce food like this? What is so special about it? So somebody will start this study, seed onwards, plant onwards, that whole science that person will study. And will call by the name that they used to call in their culture. And we popularly in English, we know it as botany. Like this, every civilization has studied. It's not limited to West or anything. We just got colonized, and we gave up all our languages and stuck to English, and so we think that's the only way. No, every civilization has their model of the universe, has their way of understanding the universe. Okay, we have to keep that in mind first. Okay, so that we won't expand our understanding here. Okay? Because the Western ideas of science are good, very nice, but limiting. Why limiting? Because they are telling us that consciousness we are trying to figure out, and they're not listening to us when we say we know all about consciousness. That means it's limiting. It's my challenge that I offer to science. Okay, our challenge, not my challenge, our challenge. So now, whenever we start studying something, you have to break it down. You have to break it down, right? Can you help me understand this? Can you break it down a little? They say, right? What is the meaning of that? It's too big to chew, and so you have to break it down. And so even sciences, it's initially just science. A child goes to study science. I'm studying science, the child says. But as the child progresses in every grade, then suddenly mathematics, then geography, then social studies, history, physics, chemistry, all these things start coming up. By the time we graduate from 12th high school, we pretty much are exposed to a lot of these basic sciences. Divide, divide, divide. Categorize. You have to categorize. Only then you can really go deep into it. And then once you go a little deep into math, then you say, no, 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 algebra. No, I'm not interested in geometry, trigonometry. No, no, that's all different. But algebra, that's it. Research in algebra. And there also, they have all kinds of further divisions. So, this category. This categorization is natural in the study of any subject. Any subject. Kshetram also same thing. Physics like that, you can divide, mechanics, heat. Even I'm forgetting some of these names. It's been too long. Mechanics, heat, quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, endless number of fields. And so now they talk about neuroscience. If I ask you which field in neuroscience comes under, previously it must have come under some field, maybe biology or physics or psychology or some field. Now neuroscience will take on its own avatar. So it's a separate building dedicated to neuroscience. Because a lot of money is to be made. So therefore they can afford a separate building. All the governments will support funds. They will fund all these projects, academia and industry, this, that, etc. Anyway, this category in our analysis, the word we use is called tattvam. Tattvam, one of the meanings of tattvam is category. Category in this context. Tattvam, tasya bhavaha tattvam means truth is also called tattvam. Truth. And because here a category is a way to understand the truth, the category itself is called tattvam. Okay. And so our Sanatana Dharma people who lived in this subcontinent, they also studied the world and they came up with various categories, tattvas. Okay. And so you've got, Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, all these Shad Darshanas are there. Advaita Vedanta, Purva Mimamsa. Shad Darshanas are very popular. Major subdivisions of analysis is this. And so this Nyaya. Nyaya will have, they call it 16 tattvas. They divide the world into 16 elements, categories, and just that's a model of them. Okay. Vaisheshika, some Ashta, Guna, and all they will talk about. Then Sankhya. Sankhya will have 24 tattvas. And Patanjali Yoga also 24 plus one Ishvara 25. Like that they talk. Each person has a model. Model of the Kshetra. Okay. Now, in this mantra, Mantra number what? In this mantra number 5, which we are looking at now. Krishna is borrowing from the Sankhya. Sankhya people is borrowing. What is this borrowing? Don't Advaita Vedantis, don't they have something unique? We should have something unique to talk about, right? Each person should have something unique. Otherwise, what is this borrowing business? Look, listen to this carefully. Advaita Vedanta talks about Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. There is only one which appears to me as many. Appearances can be any appearance can be anything. I'm so smart. I can create a snake out of rope. And so appearances can be many. Okay. Ekameva Advitiyam. That is the Tatparyam of Advaita Vedanta. Tatpari means what? That is a commitment. That is the final conclusion that Advaita Vedanta is going to talk about. So, what about the creation? Different elements of creation? Advaita Vedantins will say, do you have a model of creation? We can accept that. Have you proved it? Have we gone to conferences and proved that this is what creation happened, this is how it happened, and these are the different aspects, elements, 108 elements, 120. Okay, no problem. We will accept that. That's the creation. We don't have any problem accepting any model, in fact, because the commitment is not in trying to find out what are all the periodic table of elements. Hey, every element is Atma. We are going to finally come and tell that. Okay. Therefore, you can figure out how many ever element. Tomorrow, if new element comes, that's it. Advaita Vedanta is on solid rock. Okay. And therefore, we can borrow from Sankhya like Krishna does it here. And 24 elements. We are going to start counting them. Okay, 24. And 24 elements, if we say, some people at least something should trigger. Huh? We studied Tattva Bodha some 5 years ago. There, Atha Chaturvimshati Tattvo Chaturvimshati Tattvopatti Prakaram Vakshyamaha. Like that, Tattva Bodhakara said there. We are now going to talk about the evolution of the 24 elements of creation. Like that, he had said that. And then he talked about all this Sukshma Shariram, Stula Shariram, Kim, etc. All that came. Okay. So there that number 24 comes. So it's not new to us. Okay. And so this categorization can't be unique. Nobody can say this is the only way to categorize. The categorization should serve a purpose. It should serve a purpose. Okay. Suppose you take the animal kingdom, animal world. Okay. You can categorize it as what? Okay, animals, human beings. Why? What is this? This is because just to emphasize this human being is so different from everybody else. There you can categorize animal, human being. No, I want to go further. Okay, then what? Further means what? Oh, aquatic, terrestrial, maybe there are other arboreal. There's some words they use. I don't remember all the words, but you see where I'm going. Depending on what is the subject of your study context. Okay, and then you've got these mammals and reptiles, and then you have cold-blooded animals, warm-blooded animals. Look at that. Different ways of dividing the same animal kingdom. Depending on your, sometimes they'll say this is cold-blooded amphibian, like that. They will give their name. They will describe, use all those descriptive words. That's fine. That's fine. Each has a beautiful meaning. Cold-blooded means it means some. Mammal means it means some. Okay. And so, like that, based on context, we can use. So here, 24 tattvani, Chaturvimshati tattvani are being enumerated by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Okay. Before we look into the actual words in the shloka, let's enumerate it. Let's do that. Okay. First, avyaktam. Avyaktam or prakriti. Prakriti. Creation starts with prakriti. How to visualize prakriti? Hey, when something has to be created, it doesn't exist. To my eyes, I don't see any creation. I don't see a tree at all. Suddenly, after some time, I see a sprout. And then, okay. Yeah, Anirudh.
We also said Maya for this Avyaktam, right?
Yeah. That's okay. We don't, yeah, correct. So,
Okay.
correct. So, just this prakriti, avyaktam, maya. Okay. So, the unmanifest. Oh, there was something there before the tree actually or the sprout actually came. The sprout cannot come from nothing. So that's why studying science is very useful for studying Vedanta because these things we take for granted. Matter can't be created, destroyed. All this we got used to it, and so very useful for Vedanta because Vedanta says the same thing. So that seed from which the creation is going to come later is what avyaktam or prakriti. This is element number 1 out of the 24. Okay, just list it. We'll come back to the shloka and then we're going to map the words in the shloka to the words we are going to list now. Okay, all right. Next. Next is called Mahat. Mahat. The way our creation model works is two things Samashti and Vyashti. Samashti means this macrocosm, cosmic level, cosmic understanding, all pervasiveness. That is the first thing that comes, that evolves from Avyaktam. Then only the differentiations, the jivas, etc., are all later, not initially. Initially, it's the cosmos, like ocean. Ocean is there, must be there. Only then wave can come out of it. Okay? This is the order to understand. Okay? All right. Avyaktam or Prakriti, and from that, next is what? Mahat. Okay. Mahat. What is Mahat? This cosmic intellect. Cosmic intellect means what? It's like the intellect. When I say I have an intellect, when we say, we can appreciate that there is a function, a decision making function. And so, cosmic intellect, why cosmic intellect? Because for the creation to happen, some decision to create has to happen. And our Taittiriya Upanishad says, So kamayata bahusyam praja yeti satapostapyata satapastapva idagam sarvam asrijata. Like that, there is a beautiful series of mantras which talk about So kamayata saha ishvaraha akamayata, decided, desired. That sankalpa has to be there. Sankalpa has to be there. So kamayat. Bhahusyam prajaye. And let me create, let me become many. Like that in a poetic way it is mentioned in Taittiriya Upanishad and other Upanishads also. Okay? And we first, we learn a lot of suttas and all. And then we chant, we memorize Taittiriya. So it becomes very dear to us. Taittiriya is very dear. Because among the Upanishads, there's the first one we memorize, not study. That studying through Vedanta comes much later. Mundaka and Katha Upanishads, etc., come earlier because they are smaller Upanishads with less debate in the Bhashya. Therefore, we do that. Anyway, that's by the way. Okay. So, Mahat is the second Tattvam, which is the Samashti Buddhihi. Okay. Uh, all right. We're going to stop with that. We're not going to analyze it much more than. Next, number 3. Number 3 is what? It is called the cosmic ahankara. Cosmic ahankara. Okay, just write it down. Individual ahankara is not born yet. Cosmic ahankara. Our Shastram is fantastic when it comes to making our mind just expand to the entire universe. It won't allow you to just stay with yourself. Ishvara, God, Bhagavan is there. Bhagavan is all pervasive. For us, Bhagavan is not sitting in one place. Even though we have Bhagavan sitting in one place description, lots of stories are there. Still, that Bhagavan is all pervasive. It will not, only the Indian will say, where is God? He will say, God is. Every other fellow will say, God is up there. Every other child will start, God is up there. यहाँ पर separation नहीं. We don't separate. Therefore, cosmic ahankara is called ahankar. Just word ahankar. That's all they use here. The word. Okay. The third item is what? Ahankara. And this cosmic ahankara, we've seen it before. Hiranyagarbha also is a term used there. In Kathopanishad, Mahat is called Hiranyagarbha. So it will be confusing. Okay. Here, ahankara is equal to Hiranyagarbha is equal to Brahmaji. Okay. These are all technical terms. Okay. And therefore, samashti, ahankara, samashti, aham pratyaya lakshanam, etc. Some terms are used like ahankara. Okay. That's the third one here. Then from this Brahmaji, from this samashti ahankara, 16 elements are born. 16 elements are born. Okay. And what is that? Samashti buddhi, then samashti manaha. Manaha, mind. Mind, which is what? The optionality giving faculty is called the mind in our head. But this is a cosmic manaha. Samashti manaha. Okay. That is the fourth one. Then cosmic indriyas. Dasha indriyani. What are the dasha indriyani? What should be the dasha indriyani?
Karmendriya.
5 Kamendriya and 5 Pranendriya.
Jnanendriyas.
Jnanendriyani and karmendriyani. Correct. Jnanendriyani means 5, as we understand it, senses, 5 senses. And then pancha karmendriyani, 5 organs of action. Organs of action are what? Are what?
Vak chakshuhu.
Pada.
Pada pani payu.
Upastha.
That is
Pada pani payu upastha.
So vak pani padam payu upastha. So vak pani. So speech. Vak pani. Pani is the grasping organ, which is this organ. Pani means hands. Padam, legs. Payu upastha are the organs of expression. 2 organs of expression. Okay. That is organs of action. 5 organs of sense organs, or chakshu will come in the sense organs, okay, not in the organs of action. Okay. All right. So that is dasha indriyani. So of the 16, one is samashti manaha, and then 10 indriyani, dasha indriyani. Okay. And then pancha sukshma bhutani. Now only sukshma bhutani is correct. What are the pancha sukshma bhutani? There is akashaha vayu ityad. Akashaha vayu, agni, apaha, prithvi, sukshma bhutani. Pancha sukshma bhutani, also called mahabhutani. They are called mahabhutani because mahat means all pervasive. All pervasive. That all pervasiveness starts with all pervasiveness. Because that is what there is. Make them all pervasive. So for us, all pervasiveness is basic. Sarva vyapakatva. Vishnu. Vishnu means Viveshti iti Vishnu. One who is all pervasive is called Vishnu. Okay. Then, so how much do we have now? Do we have to count? 16 plus 3, I think we've got 19. Okay. I think some of you are shaking your heads. Okay. 19. Why? How 16 plus 3? Prakriti, Mahat, Ahankara, and then these 16. And what are those 16? Samashti Manaha. Okay. Dasha Indriyani, 4 plus 10, 14. And then Pancha Mahabhutani, 14 plus 5, 19. So that's what I have here, 19. Okay. Then finally, what will happen? What should happen? Now only something should happen. What should that be?
Panchikaranam. Oh, no, sorry.
Panchikaranam. Panchikaranam. Which is what creates what?
Stula.
Grossness.
Sula Bhutani. From Pancha Sukshma Bhutani, we have to have Pancha Sula Bhutani. Then only this physical gross world. Otherwise, world is not visible to us. We don't know the world unless we've seen the world, heard it. We can't know of its existence. Therefore, Pancha Sthula Bhutani. Okay. So 19 plus 5, 24. Chaturvimshati Tattvani. Right? So now let's come back to the shloka. Right? Mahabhutan Yahankaro Buddhir Abhyaktam Cha. Avyaktam word is there. Pull that word out of there. And then take it along with our Avyaktam Prakriti Maya. Correct? We got Avyaktam. Then what? Then there is Buddhihi before that. Bring Buddhihi against the Mahat, which was number 2 in our list. Right? Buddhihi becomes Mahat, which is the Samashti Buddhihi. Then what? Ahankara, number 3. We are going backwards from Avyakta. Okay? We're going backwards in this shloka. Ahankara. Our order is the order of creation, and Krishna is listing it in his own order. And Ahankara must be what? Ahankara must be the, again, Samashti. Samashti Ahankara, which is called also Hiranyagarbha or Brahmaji. Okay? In our Puranas, called Brahmaji. In Vedanta, called as Hiranyagarbha. Stories, Brahmaji with Chaturmukha and all will come. That is story. Here, Hiranyagarbha, take the word. All right, how much did we have now? 3 are covered. After 3, where should we go?
Samashti Manaha.
Samashti Manaha. Five, 6, 7. Yeah, Samashti Mana, correct. And that is our, it's not listed. The word Manaha is not here. Can you guess where it is?
The Buddhi itself.
No. This is not it.
Ekam cha.
Ekam cha.
Ekam cha.
Correct. Good guess. That Indriyani Dasha Ekam cha. That Ekam. Ekam is Mana. Okay. It goes along with Indriya because it's Antakaranam, And so, therefore, Ekam, that is the Samashti Manaha. Correct? Then where should we go? Then we can go to any one of these things is fine. Dasha Indriyani. Indriyani Dasha. Okay. That must be 10. 5 senses and the 5 karmendriyani, organs of action. Then Mahabhutani, Pancha Mahabhutani, correct? 5. Sukshma, Pancha Mahabhuta. Then Pancha cha Indriya Gocharaha. Indriya Gocharaha means what? The objects of sense. Whatever things that the sense organs are meant to pick up, meant to objectify, meant to perceive. They are called Indriya Gocharaha, which are how many? Which are five, which can be categorized under five. And so that's your Panchikritam Sthula Bhutani. Okay. Therefore, can you convince yourself that this is adding up to 24? No. Veera is saying no.
The objects of senses were not included earlier.
That is the Sthula Mahabhutani. Sthula Bhutani. That is the object of senses. Sthulam. Objects. So sound, etc. Sound is perceived by ear. So sound will become sthulam. Ear is sukshmam. Okay. 24. Got that? Okay. Abhishek was raising his hand. If it can wait, we can wait. All right. So
Yeah,
this
what is the difference between buddhi and mana? Intellect.
Buddhi and manas. Yeah. So buddhi. Nischayatmika buddhi. That is the definition of buddhi. Okay. What is the meaning of Nischayatmika buddhi? The faculty that minimizes options and decides. The decision-making faculty of the mind.
So isn't part of mind, or it is a separate tattva? It is a...
We call it separate. In this case, it is separate. In some contexts, it's all clubbed together.
Okay.
Where the difference is, it doesn't matter. Here it matters, therefore. And then manaha is what? Sankalpa vikalpatmika manaha. Means what? Sankalpa vikalpa. Constantly. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I attend the Gita class? Should I not attend the Gita class? It's been going good so far, But then I slept only 4 hours. Is sleep more important or Gita class more
Sleep.
important? Every day you're saying this. Every day you're sleeping only 4 hours. Today I want to sleep 6 hours. This is called manaha. Finally you say, no, there are 30 people attending this class. I don't want to miss it. Get up. It's called buddhi. Okay. That's the way Shastram talks. Divides it. Okay. All right. So you can do your own comparisons with science, how science looks at the world, etc. Okay. All these sciences are there. And we also have sciences. So this is the basic subdivision. Now you've got all the physical sciences, Ganitam, Ayurveda, medicine, everything is there. Every civilization will have all these things. And they got suppressed. Colonization project is to suppress everything unique about every civilization. And so we don't know what we did also. That is how bad we have become. So anyway, this is our methodology to understand the universe. And our analysis, we consider it complete only when Kshetrajna is included along with Kshetram. Otherwise, simply studying Kshetram, it may be useful to us because science is progressing. Look at all the objects. The object we use today, even 5 years ago, it didn't exist. And it has made our life different. Great. Keep going, keep going. Our people will say, you can keep on going. It's endless, they will say. But there is only one subject where there is one finality, and it is called the understanding of Kshetrajna. Unless you come to Kshetrajna, life will not reach fulfillment. That is our thesis. And therefore, these are some subtle differences that we will talk about. Okay? Now what happens? That covers the shloka number 5. And then, yad vikari yatascha yat, he said in the second shloka towards the end, tat kshetram yatcha yadrakcha yad vikari yatascha yat. That yad vikari yatascha, what are the modifications of? What are the attributes of this kshetra that I just told you? That I'm going to tell you. Here, Arjuna, he's going to say, which is also part of kshetra only. Okay. And so, That he is going to list by this set of this shloka. Ichhadvesha sukham dukkham sangatas chetana dhritihi. We already chanted it. Etat kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. So we'll translate 5 later. Okay. And so he's saying 24 tattvas are matter. Kshetram, another way to translate kshetram is what? Matter. Energy also you can include. Just we are using one word, matter. Okay? Energy is included in matter. Okay. Matter, let's say. And guess what, Arjuna? This mind and all very subtle things you have, right? What is unique about the human being is this mind. All living beings have mind. Animals also have a mind. Plants may have some mind. They say it is also having some sense of living and desire to live, etc. But let's talk about the human mind, which is the most unique creation. Unique element in this creation is the only entity that can want to understand what creation is. Correct? How do you define uniqueness? Everybody has their own definition of unique. I will say it is unique because it wants to understand how mind got created. Okay, all that question only this mind can ask. Okay. And Arjuna, this mind also is part of that same kshetram only. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. Mind also is kshetram. Idam shariram kshetram. It avidhiyate. This manas also is kshetram. And all the things that characterize the mind, okay, which I'm going to talk about shortly. Hey Arjuna, is also the mind only. Is also kshetram. Okay. It is unique because this consciousness is there, and this consciousness gets reflected. Mind is the entity which reflects consciousness. That is a technical term they use. To give an example, electricity flows. Okay, electricity flows through flows. If you put it against the stone is unresponsive to electricity. Then you put it through water. Then you find, oh my God, water is conducting electricity. So water seems to be little more subtle than a piece of stone. But you can't see the electricity. You can't see the electricity manifest unless you touch it. Okay. Then you connect it through a metal. Oh, it's conducting even better. Then you conduct it through a tiny filament, tungsten filament. Those days, tungsten, I don't know these days what it is. I'm out of touch with this science. Okay. So let's say tungsten filament. And guess what? It's glowing. There's light coming out of that. That means what? That particular material is very different from every other material. It is able to manifest electricity in its own unique way. No heat, some heat, but a lot of light. Then there are other materials which give out a lot of heat, very less light, each having its own application. Therefore, like that, this mind also is unique because it is able to reflect that consciousness, manifest that consciousness in a very unique way. So unique that it's able to do so many things. So many things it's able to do. And even the body is able to reflect the consciousness a little bit, not like the mind. And that is why I say this body is also conscious. Body is conscious. Means what? Body has consciousness. It is like saying that metal has electricity. No, metal does not have electricity. Metal is able to carry electricity, reflect electricity. Body does not have consciousness. It is jadam. It's part of kshetram here. Juna, remember I said kshetram? And that it is kshetram. And so even though you think your body is conscious, that consciousness comes from something else, which I'm going to talk about later. Kshetrajna. Okay.
We call it Chidabhasa, that one.
Oh, wait. Let's not introduce too many new words. Okay. We need to grasp the idea. And this is not somebody said we'll have quiz and all that. We are not going to have any quizzes because no amount of quiz is going to make us understand. Suppose you remember, you write a quiz and I give you a multiple choice question and you put a tick and Chidabhasa. Then what? Did you get moksha? Did you not get moksha? That will be the first question. So we have to be careful. Correct. I mean, I understand the intention behind you, what you're saying, but let's not get carried away by words. Already we have enough words today. 24 tattvas. This is Hiranyagarbha, Mahat, then Ahankara, Cosmic, Samashti, Vyakti. Already some people are confused. And they are wondering, why did I register for this course? Is this a course I want to spend 3 hours a week on? 3 hours a week. Who has 3 hours a week? I don't have 3 hours a week. Anyway, so that's why, Satishji, we want to. This is not a. We're not. This is not an encyclopedia here. Just let's first understand. Critical thing is understand. Okay, so that mind is unique. Okay, and then this mind, what is unique about? Further, can you tell me? Yeah, this mind is what is able to operate all the sense organs. What is the use of all these sense organs? Is the mind. That's why when the mind is somewhere else, there is somebody talking to you loudly, and your mind is somewhere else. That loud voice that is coming here, you are not able to. You're not hearing. Why? Because the mind took off somewhere. Something that person said just took off your mind, and then you say, "Wait, wait, wait. Can you repeat what he said?" What do you mean? I was shouting at the top of my lungs. You're asking me to repeat it? Yeah, my mind was somewhere else. The mind has to be there behind this, behind our dasha indriyani. Otherwise, it won't work. So that's why the mind is unique. And further, the mind is able to make conclusions about all things of this world. Correct? What can the eyes do? The eyes can only tell you that there is a particular. What can it tell you? Shape it can reveal to you. Some reflections it can reveal to you. Some light, some bright spots, some dark spots, etc. It can reveal to you. That's all it can tell you. Now your mind has to process it. Mind has to process it. And then you have to say, oh yeah, this is the tumbler, this is a glass, and this is a traditional thing people use in India. And typically water, tea, coffee, and all is put in this particular. All that mind is processing. Eyes cannot tell you all. Eyes jada. Can't tell you all. So much processing is happening here. And buddhi is there, conclusion. Yes, it's a term. So mind and buddhi, let's combine together. It is making all these conclusions about every object in this world. And that's okay. That's great. But then it is also going to make a conclusion about one very important thing in this world. That is me. That is me. Me means what? This person, this being. I am a human being. I am an important person in my life. I am an important person in my life. Okay, may not be in other people's life, but I am an important person in my life. In fact, I am the most important person in my life. And who am I then? The mind is forced to make a conclusion. It has to conclude about who I am. Correct? And I'm the body, of course. I'm the mind in this complex. Sangata, that word will come later. Sangataha in this shloka. Sangata in this complex. Body, mind, sense complex. BMS. Sometimes they use BMS complex. And this complex. Okay, good. Yeah, this complex. Now, if I say I'm the complex, now I have to conclude about this complex. And the biggest conclusion I make is I am a mortal. I am a mortal. I have to try to make myself, I have to delay my mortality as much as possible. Correct? That's it. Whole life is spent on that. Then there are values and things like that. And values take precedence. And values say, you know what? Even at the cost of my life, I want to uphold some value. Aha, look at that now. The mind is saying, even though I want to extend my mortality as much as possible, still there are certain times when I will say, I'm willing to give up my life. Why? This is very important. National flag is very important. My children are very important. Like this. Certain things take precedence to my life. So mortality, there's something seems to be bigger than mortality also. So anyway, this mind is unique. Just wanted to make that point for various reasons. And so another example given is the example of a mirror. The sun is shining, but the mirror has the capacity to reflect that brilliant bright sun. And so good it is that those days, when they used to make movies, they used to bring big mirrors with them. You know why? Because that is a source of light. They just will point towards the sun. And I've seen some videos of this. I was so impressed. I said, "Wow, you didn't need all this battery, electricity, and this." So they used to make because that's source of light. So the mind is like that, ability to reflect the consciousness, and therefore, the body is now called sentient, living, conscious being, human being. Beingness is so important there. And so Chidabhasa and all some terms are used for this mind. Okay, we'll not worry about that. Okay, Chetana is already going to introduce one word called Chetana. That Chetana is this reflected consciousness reflected in an entity called the mind is called Chetana. Okay. And okay, Satish ji said Chidabhasa, technical word again. If you want to make a note of it, that's fine. So now come back to the shloka. Sanghataha, body, mind, sense complex. This whole assemblage. Sanghata, literal meaning is assemblage. And in this context, that assembly is referring to this body, mind, sense. This entire thing, this entire ball of mass that has so much capacity, endowed with so much capacity. That's the Sanghataha. Chetana. Chetana. We are going in a different order, right? Chetana. That Chetana means what? Like the mirror is bright. If you say the mirror is bright, the mirror really is not bright. Is the mirror bright? No, that brightness is not intrinsic to the mirror, my dear friend. It is borrowed brightness. Correct? Borrowed brightness. Let's give some credit to the mirror. Let's give some credit and say borrowed brightness. That borrowed brightness of the mind is called Chetana. Because otherwise, mind is jadam. Mind is part of Kshetram. Kshetram is jadam. Inert, remember. Krishna is saying this is all Kshetram only. It's all properties, some very unique aspects of the Kshetram. Very unique. Mind is very unique. And therefore, why is it unique? I'll tell you some more. Ichha Dvesha. This mind is such a thing. The minute the mind is given, then it will start categorizing the world. And then two main categories are there, which we didn't discuss. And that is called objects that I like, objects that I don't like. There are only two things in this world. What are the two things in this world? There are things that I like and love, things that I don't love, don't like, I'm indifferent to. That's it. I've now categorized the world, the entire universe, into two things. And where did we get this idea before?
Ragadvesha viyukta.
Ragadvesha. Sangatas Chetana. Oh, it's right here.
Vishayanindriya is channel.
Okay, and before that, world divided into two. Indriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavasthitau. Long back, second chapter, I think. He's saying, what did he say? Indriyasyarthe means in every object of your senses, which means in everything of this world, every part of this world, every entity of this world, ragadveshau vyavasthitau. Second chapter itself, he had said, there is going to be two things called raga and dvesha. It's going to be there. And so, that same thing he brings here. Ichha dvesha. In Bhagavan's creation, there won't be any raga dvesha. Okay? There is no such thing as a great thing and an ugly thing. In Bhagavan's creation, everything is equal. But the minute the mind, I look at this world, Bhagavan's creation through my mind, then I will start categorizing. Good, bad, ugly. That's my categorization, not Bhagavan's categorization. Okay. Bhagavan did not create anything ugly. Hey, the industry has to process. Your raw materials are needed, and then products are formed. Waste is generated. If you don't remove the waste from the industry, the process will die. If you don't remove the waste from this body, the body will collapse. We all know that. And the body needs to have the power to process all the food items we consume to give the energy to the body. That's why digestion process is so important. And it is not simply breaking it down, but breaking it down into various tattvas and giving it to the blood and oxygen and this and lungs and this. How it works, doctors may know. Definitely they know a lot more about these things. But they also need to know a lot more every time. That's why science is progressing. So, therefore, I can't say. Therefore, waste management is an important subject. People do study the waste management. You can't say, oh, you're studying waste management? Oh, waste? That's a waste, I think. No, you can't say study of waste management is a waste. You can't say that. It's very important. And you will know only when these people, these municipal people, they start coming 1 day, 2 days, then you will know how important waste management is. Correct? And so, Chan Dvesha is my own projection. Okay. I convert Bhagavan's universe, Bhagavan's world into my own private world. And that private world is defined by this Icha and Dvesha. Krishna is saying 2 words are enough. I don't need to tell you any more about this mind. Okay. And then what? Once I have Icha and Dvesha, I will automatically have what is called Sukham and Dukkham. It's waiting to come. That's why earlier he said, Tayorna Vashama Gachet. Don't come under the spell of Raga Dvesha. You are welcome to enjoy whatever you want to enjoy in this world, but be careful. Be careful. It's a trap. It's a trap if you are not careful. It's a trap. Okay? And so we're all, every human being is a victim of this, of course. And so that will be the natural outcome. Sukham and Dukkam will be the natural outcome of Icha and Dvesha, Raga and Dvesha. All right. So we can talk a lot about this Icha and Dvesha. And the beauty about this Icha and Dvesha is, see, somebody visited your home and you offered them, lunch. They had lunch at your place. And then you found this, they like this kheer that you made very much. Yeah. And they like the pickle, one particular pickle you made, okay, with your own hands. They liked it very much. They appreciated it. And then you also gave them some meeta pan. And they enjoyed it even more. So now that's there in your memory. Next time they come, you want to make these things for them. You know what they like. The next time they came, after some months, they came home and then they come, sir, it's So it's then half an hour, 1 hour to lunchtime. And so you gave them some appetizers. You give something right before. You don't simply thrust lunch at people. You say, okay, you want to have some juice, you want to have this, something you say. So these people, they decided this guy likes pan. So they bought a whole bunch of pan and put it in the plate. Pan means, you know what I'm talking? Pan. I hope all of you understand what pan is. Because he likes pan, So pan. They're all looking at each other. What? Like this. Pan, you love pan, don't you? Yeah, but no, pan after lunch. Is it all right if I take it after lunch? So we have to be polite also, what to do, all these sticky situations. Is it all right? Oh, after lunch? You mean you're not going to take pan now? What kind of argument is this? That means what? Pan, which was the source of ananda for you. Why don't you get some ananda from the pan now? It is there right in front of you. No, this pan is not going to give you any ananda because it is going to suppress your appetite. It may be tasty, all right, but it is just so not appropriate to have a pan in front before a meal. After a meal only. That's why every restaurant in India, you go outside the restaurant, you'll have this pan shop. Pan shop will be there. I remember as children, we used to run after our father. We won't allow him to go. He'll say, no, this pan. So, meeta pan. So that we used to enjoy. So, therefore, what? Does pan have the ability to give anybody ananda? No. Because time has to come along with it. Time has to come along. Pickle. You like pickle, so they put a lot of pickle in front. What is this? What kind of ananda can you get by having pickle for appetizer? Pickle. No, I made it out of my own hands. Last time you loved it. Yeah, last time I loved it. Even now I plan to love it. Okay, I plan to love it. Is it all right? So, and the same person after some years says, no, all this care and all. No, thank you. I loved it before, but now it has come under the Dvesha category. Hey, Dvesha category? Who put Paisam, Kheer put itself in the Dvesha category or what? No. Kheer has no ability to do all that. It's all here. It's all here. And so it's very obvious. Ichha and Dvesha is not a property of any object in this world. It is my own projection. The projection of the mind itself, which is what here Bhagavan Krishna is talking about. And Swamiji mentions a very beautiful idea here. Bhagavan's creation is all called Padartha. Padartha means an object. Okay? And then what happens? The minute I attribute Ichha and Dvesha to all these things, you know what these objects become? Padarthas become? They become Vishaya. And the Sanskrit meaning of the word Vishaya is, it comes from the root si. Siddha. Si. S-I-C. And si means to bind. Sinoti. Fifth conjugation. Si to bind. Vishinoti. Visheshena sinoti. Definitely binds. In a very peculiar way, it binds. That whatever binds is called a Vishaya. Vishaya means object, thing, anything. Anything to which I am attracted to, I am repelled by is called a Vishaya. So I convert Bhagavan's Padartha into my own Vishaya. So the word Vishaya is very important in our Shastra. Shankaracharya will use the word, very consciously he will use the word, and he will wonder if we understood why he used the word Artha. We enjoy people like us who study, we enjoy it. Anyway, so Dhritihi. Okay, we have to cover a few more things. We'll complete it, not a problem. Dhritihi means will, resolve. Once this world is there and whole life, I have to make it. And Yoga Kshema, we talked about last time. I have to acquire what I need. I have to give up what I don't need. I have to protect what I need. Because what I need, I acquire, I have to protect it also. and therefore I have to keep it. I want black hair, but I want to keep black hair also. That is a big problem. For some people it's a very big problem. Getting hair itself is a problem. Hair is there, it's black, means I have to preserve the blackness. It's a big industry. So anyway, that is dhriti. Will is needed. Dhritihi. Etat kshetram samasena savikara udahtam. So this is called kshetra here, Arjuna. Savikaram, along with the attributes of this kshetra, along with its modifications, because Icha and Dvesha are all modifications, constantly changing also. Constantly changing. Things in the world are also changing, and my idea about the world also is constantly changing. That constant change is all under the category of kshetram. Etat kshetram samasena. Don't think I'm going to talk anymore about it. This is it. Samasena, briefly. Udahritam, enumerated by me. Okay? If you have a couple of minutes, we can translate these two shlokas. 6 and 7 we are going to translate. Sorry, 5 and 6. I should change these numbers. 5 and 6. Okay, the 5 subtle elements, ahankara, mahat, the 5 subtle elements, kama, ahankara, kama, mahat. So better not to translate these words. Otherwise, just leave it exactly as it is. The 5 subtle elements, ahankara, mahat, prakriti. Avyakta is translated as prakriti. The 10 sense organs, the mind and the 5 gross elements, the mind and the 5 gross elements, desire and hatred, pleasure and pain. Desire and hatred, pleasure and pain. The body-mind complex. Sense is not included here because senses were described earlier. The body-mind, it doesn't matter. BMS, body-mind sense complex. Body-mind sense complex. Sentiency. That's why we call Chetan, Chetana. Beautiful names, Chetana, right? So, sentiency, fortitude, or you can use other words also. Free will, agency, all these are similar meanings in this context. Fortitude, hyphen. All this enumerated above briefly is kshetram, together with its modifications. Is kshetram, together with its modifications. Let me repeat that. The 5 subtle elements, ahankara, mahat, prakriti, the 10 sense organs, the mind, and the 5 gross elements, desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, the body, mind, sense complex, sentiency, fortitude, all these are all this enumerated above briefly is kshetram, together with its modifications. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.